We are joined by Yusuf Mehdi from Microsoft, who just left the stage after showing kind of a pretty cool new version of Bing. Eric seemed a little enamored by the video feature.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how it went?
I thought it was pretty good. Bing is really differentiated on being a great visual way to navigate search results. And what we showed there was the next generation of what we think Bing can be on IE9. So we're taking advantage of HTML5, and what we showed was a great video homepage on Bing, which I think a lot of people said, wow, it's pretty.
Yeah.
I showed it at our company meeting yesterday to 50,000 people, and there was a, ooh, so it's good.
You know what I really like about Bing, and I think has been interesting, is frequently, and I don't mean offense to Microsoft, but I'm a reporter and I'm rude, so I'll say it anyway. Frequently, I think in the few areas that Microsoft has not done well, you tend to come out and copy competitors, and Bing is such a dramatically different approach to search. And I think it's really one of the first dramatically different approaches to search. And what was impressive about that demo is it just really reemphasized what's so different about Bing than Google. I mean, Google is famous for being incredibly Spartan, drove a whole wave of non-visual UIs almost throughout the industry. And here, you guys are showing us something that, Eric said, I think on stage, he would just sit and look at the page all day. It's such a different twist on search. Is it intentional to be different, or is it just a different philosophy behind it?
Well, thanks first of all for the nice compliments. No, it's absolutely born out of trying to solve unmet customer needs. And the thing we joked around, back at the ranch, years ago when we were starting Bing is, it isn't like customers sitting around saying, if only I had another search engine, life would be great. Right? And so we said, what are the unmet needs? And the unmet needs were really not about finding websites, because there was a good solution for that. It was more about, hey, I want to accomplish a task. I want to book a trip, or I want to buy a product, or I want to go to a local location. And as we did that, we said, oh, what are the technologies that will make that much easier? And visual was one of those things that we did. And it's really connected with people. And the surprise, I will say, is how emotional that connection has been. And you and I were talking about that a second ago, which is, we got lucky, which is people said that emotion, the homepage, the brand, the visual, that speaks to me about what the power of the web can be. And we were fortunate, and we did some good work on that.
I think search is such an interesting category because it's something that we all think is a met need, but if you think about it, it's really not a met need. I mean, you think about how many times you go to a search engine and have to put in queries 5 or 6 or 7 times to actually get what you're looking for. I feel like it's a little bit about like what we've seen in the desktop generally, where we all just got trained to do things a certain way that really actually isn't maybe the best way. And then I think with UI, mobile came along and really integrated, I mean, particularly the iPhone, Android to a lesser degree, integrated the whole web experience into the phone and kind of, shocked people. Do you think something is going to happen with search on mobile that will be similar in terms of really causing people to rethink what search could be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think mobile is chock full of those very opportunities you just spoke about, because of the fact that on the mobile device, it's always with you. You kind of tend to know more who that is. PCs are shared sometimes, but your phone is your phone. You know location, you know time. How fast you're moving, whatever you might want to share with it. And so just that alone will mean that the search will be much more personal in nature by default, number one. And then both in terms of about you and then just what you're trying to accomplish. And secondly, because you just aren't going to stand for a lot of keyboards, then the thing that we've been speaking a lot about, which is, hey, forget about the blue links, get what you want. You have to do that on the phone, because there's just no room for that. And so it's going to force big changes, which I think is going to be exciting.
Are you guys, how does the game change on mobile from PCs? Because PCs were always really Microsoft's domain. And, obviously in the past we saw that used to great advantage with the browser. Now you're really, when it comes to smartphones, particularly for a hipster audience like the one here at Disrupt, you're on Apple Google turf, or the table's completely turned.
Yeah, it's a different thing, although, we like to think, and certainly with Bing, I mean, I've been on Bing, I've been on Internet Explorer. I sort of feel like I've been in the underdog role for my 20 years at the company. So it's not unfamiliar for me to go out and say, hey, well, you have to win customers on the merits. And that's generally how the company thinks. And so, yeah, on the mobile platform's a new change. We have Windows Phone 7 coming out. We're very excited about that. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's hot. I think you'll look at that and I think you'll say, wow, that's also, it may not be better, it's different. And it's different in a way that's interesting to me too, and it'll bring more innovation to the space. So I think that there's big opportunity. Our iPhone app from Bing is very hot. If you go look online, it's got great reviews. It's most downloaded. So it's a vibrant space. We have a lot of work to do. Believe me, we're very humble about how much work we have to do, but we're excited about it.
So last, I want to ask you about the whole Google Instant idea. I was talking to a couple developers on the way up from your talk, and people were saying that they didn't see a lot of instant in your demo, and people were expecting a little bit more of a reaction to Google's announcement with that.
Yeah, well, this goes back to the thing we were talking about a second ago, which is we didn't set out to sort of say, hey, let's be 10% better than the other guy.
Right.
We said, let's go do the thing that customers want that's unmet in need. And that is this thing about making decisions and accomplishing tasks. And so the instant work, I think, is technically impressive. What they've done is technically impressive, but I don't think it speaks to what we're trying to do, which is it's not faster about more links. We want to be faster to help you complete your task. And approaches on visual, on mobile, we didn't talk about social. These are things that we think will help you better get to what you want. And so while I think there may be some good stuff in there, we'll have to wait and see. We're on our approach.
Do you ever, though, see a Google product launch where you just think or tweak and you think, oh, I wish we'd have done that first, and now if we're going after it, we're going to look like copycats?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, again, we have high respect for all of the innovation in the space, and generally it's good, but you know, the type of work that all of us do, and I'd say that it's done there too, is it's multi-year in general. I mean, if you got back in there and you talk to the engineers, you got people talking about decade-level problems. And when those features ship, it's more a happenstance of what's available than it is in any way reactionary to competition.
A lot of talk and hype about social search, the idea that somehow going more towards a human-powered version of search, you know, very early days of the internet, away from machines and sheer algorithms, might be the next wave. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think what will happen is, and Jeff Weiner was saying about this too, I actually think it's going to be a mix of three all the time, which is there's machine learning algorithms, which we excel at. There is the social signal, which is increasingly important now. This is what you see with Twitter and with Facebook and others. And then there's the kind of curation, the editorial, which is people who just know what's important in a domain. So the DJ who's the hot mixer, he knows what music's hot. No computer will tell him, and no crowdsource will tell him. He will set the trend. And you need a little bit of each of those to really build the right solution.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Yusuf.
Thanks.
And we'll get back to the stage.
All right.